Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sharu with a Vedic Astro Daily Weather Update for Thursday, May 2nd. Today, we are going to have the moon in the very last constellation in the sky, which is Revati, which means the wealthy ultimately. And it's this, going to the other side, right? It's ruled over by the god Pushan, who's standing at a golden path, at the end of life, you could say, and guiding people to their fulfillment. It's this really pure energy. And so he's known as the cosmic herdsman, ultimately, right? People that have this are really passionate about protecting animals and ultimately like nourishing people. And that's really the key energy today. If you look at the chart here, we're going to have the moon, which is where the energy is really spotlighted, right like 2 degrees away from Venus. And so it's this really sweet, beautiful, lovely energy. So an incredible day to really, just like take care of yourself ultimately and do all the creative, artistic things. Now, what's interesting is that about 3 p.m. today, Mercury is going to be going towards this kind of volatile zone, the very end of the zodiac here. And so communications and things being kind of straightforward in our thinking are going to be a little bit more disorganized in a way. So 3 p.m. till about like 10 a.m., you might kind of feel like this, right? Instead of just herding sheep, you're herding cats. Oh, that's so much fun. I wish that was real. That would be so epic. And so, you might be feeling a little bit more confused about things, but luckily, and actually, like for the last like 3 weeks or so, Mercury has been dancing through Pisces where it's debilitated, right? So we're talking about Einstein having his Mercury in Pisces. It's like this trying to quantify infinity to make sense of things, right? And so the good news is that tomorrow we're going to have Mercury in Aries, right? And so we're going to be more direct with our communications and our thinking. Pretty powerful. And so if you're starting to feel a little confused, right? Like after 3 p.m. today, just know that it's that. And it's really good for more like creative activities, right? To go off into that zone, which I've been talking about the last 3 days. Okay. So that is what is really good to do. And also, putting out marketing and such, not such a good idea, right? After 3 p.m., right? If you already did it before, that's great. But if you can wait till tomorrow and after, like 10 a.m., it's a better time to get your marketing messages out there. Yeah. So we're going to have Omega on today. And she's like, yay, self-care. But yeah, exactly. Doing things like just letting go, like, things aren't making sense today. I'm just going to really take care of myself. Let the kitties massage me. And it's a good day for beautifying, artistic expression, and all these things. And hold on, I got a special little thing here happening. Okay, here we go. It's a good day for, oh, there we go. Yeah. Good day for nourishing. Yeah. Yes. Oh, I had to do that. Okay. Yeah. So it's that energy of literally in the scriptures, it's about like a cow giving milk to its young. So it's that nourishment energy that we can experience today. Really fun. And so just kick back and relax, maybe do all of your creative things and really fun. So enjoy. Okay, and we have the new moon coming up. It's going to be in joining the sun here in the constellation Bharani. So today, the day before the new moon, where Friday starting around 4 p.m. is the time of that new moon energy. And so it's a time to be stripping things away, letting things go. Not a good day to start things right before a new moon, right? The energy is about to end and start a whole new cycle. And so it's going to be in this constellation Bharani, which is about the star of restriction, ultimately. Like, what are we going to be stripping away so that only what is our highest like path and dharma and everything is left behind. And so a really incredible time the next like 36 hours to be doing that. And so, you can't really know how all these transits will be affecting you unless you talk to a professional astrologer, of course, and let alone to know what cycle you're in, to know what planet is really influencing you the most in your life that you have to watch out for. So you could schedule a reading with me in the link above or the link in my bio. And so let's demonstrate how it's going to be affecting my guest today, Omega. And so let's go ahead and call her up on the Skype. And by the way, I just messaged the Ecamm Live people today and I was like, can we stop using Skype and use Zoom? And they're like, yeah, we're going to get to that. So here we go. Calling Omega on the Skype. And let's start bringing up her chart here. Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Great. So can you put on your video? Yes, there you are.
There's my face.
Fantastic. Great. So while how are you doing, by the way?
I'm doing good.
Fantastic.
Today's a fantastic day. Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So while I get your chart set up here, I'm just curious, like what inspired you to want to have your chart looked at today?
Well, I'm going through lots of changes
Uh-huh.
right now. My business is getting up off the ground, and
Woohoo.
that's really exciting. Yes, it's really exciting, and it's a lot to deal with. There's, as you know, there's just like a lot of moving parts,
Hmm.
and it'd be good, like it'd be great to know what to do when, you
Right.
know.
Yeah.
In terms of business releasing campaigns. You mentioned something about like not doing any marketing today, so I take that to heart.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, so that's pretty much it, just like business stuff.
Yeah. That's great. Well, I don't know if you knew, but I actually have this timing calendar that I created at the beginning of the year
Oh,
that is just specifically for business. And so let me pull
I
that
did
up.
not.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I'll make sure that you get that. But it's a cool little timing calendar that right there. If you're looking on the live, it's got the whole year and it's like days in red, days in yellow and stuff. And so that's just in general for like, oh, the astro weather is not a good day in the like classical text of Vedic astrology to not start things like that you want to be successful on the mundane plane, which is business ultimately.
Right.
So pretty cool. So if you join my Facebook
Right.
group, you can get this calendar. Haha. And yeah, by the way, too, if people out there, if you want your chart read live, yeah, you can see down here the link, Vedic Astro Yoga groups. Just go ahead and join there, and you can get your chart read live, like Omega is. Cool. All right. So let's look at the timing of your life cycles here. And so we have your chart that I'm going to pull up here. And I know it's kind of small, but ever since 2012, you've been in this major cycle of the moon. And so luckily for your chart, the moon represents, you guessed it, career. The moon rules Cancer, which is your 10th house here. And so you have the moon in the 7th house of like one-on-one relationships, even like business contracts, in the place where the new moon is going to be in this
Hmm.
constellation Bharani. And so it's about like restriction, ultimately, like pulling things away, right? And
Hmm.
it's kind of like you do that in your business, right? You're like, I'm going to have this strict routine. And, I'm not quite sure what you're doing, but I know it's like workout like, do you want to tell everybody
Yeah.
what you're doing, just to give a selfless plug here?
Yeah, selfless plug. I am a personal trainer. I train in Marin. I also do online personal training, and I am releasing fitness subscription videos in July.
Exciting. Super cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And so your moon, this is your Vedic birth star, the middle of Aries. I like to call it like the army general part of Aries, right? So this is your career, and in the seventh house of relationship, it's usually one-on-one client relations. Is that
Mhm.
kind of career, and so you're helping them like remove impurities, like do that, make really sharp
Mm.
judgments to like do this and do that, to like be the army general for people, right? So this new moon coming up is going to be really huge for your
Mhm.
this new moon's going to be really huge for your career. And so this whole month cycle is going to be a really big like up level for you, because it's going to be all related to this seventh house here of one-on-one contracts and career and such. Pretty cool.
Mm.
Yeah. And so now if we look again, you're in the subcycle since February 25th. I think it's 2018. And so it's been a big movement towards living like your highest, like kind of dharma, we would say, because Mercury rules in your chart uh, the ninth house of like what you do, like your essence self, like your highest path and dharma. I'm going to say this over and over again,
Mhm.
because the ninth house here is like us as the teacher, right? So since February, it's like, okay, I'm ready to teach. I'm ready to bring this out here and do the courses, right? I'm curious
Mhm.
when this movement started for you.
Let's see. Well, I've been a personal trainer for almost 12 years now.
Nice.
But I decided in like 20, I think it was like 2013, winter of 2013 or 14 maybe. Maybe it was 14 that I felt pretty excited and committed to do this online personal training. But in um, February of 2012, I was at
Oh, looks like we lost you. It's okay. Um, I'll just keep going. Hopefully you'll come back. There she is. Oh well. Um, okay. Well, anyways, so just to continue, so since February, she has been in this cycle of Mercury. So really activating, like, okay, it's time to do my highest offering here. And she has Mercury in the 12th house, right? And so the 12th house is like these higher states of awareness, like these greater states of like vision ultimately. And it could be a little disorienting in this position. It's kind of like what's going to happen tonight. So let me call her back and see if we can get her back on. Okay, great. You're back.
hello. Sorry.
It's cool. So I was just explaining that your Mercury is in this place of the 12th house, which is similar to like the energy today, where it could be a little bit disorienting, right? It's like going
Hmm.
this direction and that direction. It's like infinity directions, to go.
Hmm.
And so it would be really good to just get that like organization and structure even more, right? And so
Great.
I know you don't have a problem with that, being a personal trainer, but and do you have a business coach? And
I have two mastermind groups that I'm a part of,
okay,
and that I meet with them on a weekly basis, and that is really what keeps me on
yeah,
track.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you didn't have that, you just be like, "Wee, I'm just gonna go all the directions." Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
totally.
yeah. And I'm the same way, and it's really helpful to have somebody kind of like holding your hand at least once a week,
Yeah.
for sure. And so now it's also interesting too, is as you have Mercury in this Vedic constellation Hasta, which is the hand. So it's really good at like physical things, of course, but it's also a fist, and it's like I'm ready to like fight, right? And like fight for you, fight for the people, right? Fight for your health and wealth and such. So that's really cool. And so
Hmm.
you're really going for this huge like visionary level of your career since like February 2018. Um, and yeah,
Mm.
when did you start really like picking it up? Was it the beginning of the year this year?
It was, let's see, October or November of last year.
Yeah.
I really started working on it, but in February, the vision started to congeal for sure. Like
Hmm.
I came up with the name,
Right.
bought the domain name, all
Yeah.
the structural things a part of like building a business came together. Yeah.
Yeah. Great. Cool. Um, and so now the next phase is going to be in July, the end of July this year. And it's going to be the south node of the moon phase. And so usually during this cycle, it's really about this refinement period, right? And being a little bit more perfectionistic with
Hmm.
what you want to do. And you have it in the area of the 11th house, which is your network or your community, right? So it could represent like stripping away of only messing around, not messing around, but just like only being around certain friend groups, for that focus is what it can indicate oftentimes. It's like a head without a body. And so it's like this withdrawal from this
Hmm.
area of life, right? And it's like you want to perfect it and spiritualize it. So in that level, it's helping you focus in on like who you want to have influence you, which is like probably just your masterminds and other people that are hustling. um, but then also it refines like who do you want to work with, right? Who is your ideal client? And so that's totally going to happen. And so it's really going to focus down and refine into that pinpoint. And it goes all the way till February 2020. And so that period is like a refinement period of like only working with these specific people, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. And then it goes into Venus after that. And usually then we, especially for you, it's like taking it to the next level and really analyzing what your ideal client is as well, but working on a much larger scale, right? Maybe
Hmm.
like international level, which is just the internet, right? I like the 12th,
Hmm.
12th house is the internet. And you have Venus even in the constellation of one-on-one client work as well,
Hmm.
right? So that's how I see the progression. And so at the same time, you're going through like the finishing of your Saturn return as well.
Hmm.
Right. And so what's happening in the sky right now is that we're having Saturn being eclipsed by the south node of the moon. And so that could confuse the structure, and in this case of your third house, of your marketing, right? And of what you're putting out there, what you're expressing, right?
Hmm.
And so even more important to really just use the scripts that your mastermind gives you to really organize what you're going to say, right? Because you might be
Hmm.
kind of too perfectionistic with it within yourself, and just have a coach be like, just go, do this, just say that and go, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so that's a big stress that's happening with everybody at some area in their chart. They're having this stress of like there's work to be done, but I want it to be perfect, and like there's a struggle. And so now what's happening coming up in June is Mars is going to join the North Node in the ninth house. And so that's really cool for you because that's going to get you even more in that spiritual warrior mindset and just be this like explosive, powerful teacher, right?
Hmm.
So June, people are going to be kind of freaking out there. So you're going to see probably like a rush more of clients really building in May, and then June is like the volatile point of all the bad, malefic planets opposing each other, creating this stress. And
Hmm.
so what you got to do is just make sure that you're communicating, that you're expressing yourself, and not being too perfectionistic, because it's like kind of like stripping things away with that area, right?
Hmm.
So really get it out there, and then just, um, you know, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chuck Norris, they both have Mars and Rahu in their chart. So it's like you're getting that Chuck Norris energy as a teacher.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so that's the cycle in a way. It's like June, and then even after the eclipses, after July 16th, is like the biggest stress for the year. And then you move into this phase of the refinement period of who you're working with and who your friends are, and just going more inward and hitting this focal point, right?
Hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Does that make sense?
Oh, it makes a lot of sense. And I can see just in terms of planning and what I have coming up in the next couple of months, how I, I'm actually doing pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
People that have like this discipline are having an easier time, right?
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, but people that don't have this routine are going to be floundering. And so
Hmm.
what's your website, right? How do people reach you?
Hmm.
Because they need you to help motivate you, because you have your Vedic birth star is the army general boss, right? So
Awesome.
yeah. So what's your website? What's
Oh,
I just want people to
omegafitlife.com.
omegafitlife.com, everybody.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great.
Yes.
Well, perfect. Well, so
Wonderful.
great to finally have you on. And
Thank you, Sharu.
yeah, great to
Yay, this is so cool.
yeah, super fun. All right. Cool. Well,
Thank you,
we'll be in
friend.
touch. Yeah. Bye.
Perfect. Bye.
All right. So, yeah, love doing this. Gosh, I love being the strategist, doing strategy for people. So much fun. So, if you want to know what's going on for you in business and how to capitalize on the planetary energy that's coming up this May, June, and July, just go ahead and schedule a reading. And if you want to have your chart read live again, go ahead and join the facebook.com/groups Vedic Astro Yoga. All right, many blessings.